minutes.
2 minutes.
Let's see who's watching. So about to go down.
7 seconds. Here we go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned into the baddest podcast in the land. You've reached the WePlayBaseball Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, to get your questions in, send those questions or text those questions to 334-249-2290, or you can tweet us at WePlayBaseball2. Again, that is text your questions to 334-249-2290, or you can tweet us at WePlayBaseball. Gentlemen, how y'all doing today?
Good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. It's good, man. I've had a very, 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 very busy day. As you can see, once again, I'm in my work attire. Like I tell you, man, it ain't no church suit, man. Stop all that, man. It's just a blazer. I got on some polo blue jeans and some blazers. Not a blazer, man. Come on, you ain't got to do me like that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in today. This is the We Play Baseball Podcast. I am your host, Rod White. On the line or on the screen, you should be able to see as our normal panel. We're missing Orv today and a couple other guys. They'll be back hopefully pretty soon. We'll get them back in here. But on the panel, as you always are, we have Andrew Toussaint and Carl Nichols. Yay! I can't get my open. There it is. Yay! Yay! There. It ain't making no noise. Anyway, man, what's happening?
Doing good.
What's on the agenda today, guys? let's talk some baseball. We got people out here. We've been getting a tremendous amount of support out here for what we're doing. People are really thanking us for providing them with as much information as we have been providing, and they're looking for more. And I tell everybody over the weekend that all the messages and things that I got that yes, we'll have more people coming on. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, something that we did the other day. We're going to kind of let you guys chime in with a couple of stories, and we go from there. And then what we want to talk about today is kind of the rollout for the platform for the National Scouting Bureau. And I did kind of a basic presentation because everybody's asking. A lot of people have been asking and messaging and trying to get clarity on some things, and I want to take some time to do that today. So again, if you have questions today, you can actually have 2 or 3 different screens going. All right. So if you want to text in the comments box on the Facebook pages, you can do that, or you can text 334-249-2290. I can see the questions from there, or you can tweet us at WePlayBaseball2, the number 2. Tweet us at WePlayBaseball2. So, as normal, let me just give a quick background of what we do. I just basically covered this podcast is designed to provide parents, players, coaches, fans with information about what's going on at the collegiate level as well as the professional level of baseball, making sure that you stay as informed as you possibly can. And as normal, our 2 panel hosts that are along with me, Carl Nichols and Andrew Toussaint, and we'll let them give their backgrounds, and then we'll have Carl start out with the old story today.
Carl Nichols played 18 years professionally with the Baltimore Orioles and the Houston Astros. Been coaching for the last 20 years, including stints at the Compton Urban Youth Academy, Compton College, Team USA, numerous travel ball teams, and I do a lot of consulting, I guess you can call it, with amateur looking to get into the college and the pro game. So that's skimming of my background in baseball.
All right, Andrew.
Andrew Toussaint. I'm a West Coast regional supervisor with the New York Mets. Been scouting for 8 years. Was a area scout previously. Worked at the Urban Youth Academy with Carl Nichols here in Compton. Played 5 years at the Angels organization up to AA. Spent 2 years in Japan with the SoftBank Hawks. Drafted out of Southern University in 2004.
Gotcha. And my background, obviously, let me put this down so I can make sure I can talk without stuff falling around in here. Rod White, Associate Head Coach, Texas College, former Assistant Coach at Alabama State University, former Associate Area guy with the Red Sox and the Phillies. Did work there. Now I'm with Texas College Baseball, and I'm also the managing partner for the National Scouting Bureau. So, and we'll get into the National Scouting Bureau and what it does here shortly. But we wanted to just kind of let this start off. I want these guys to tell a couple of stories today. I want you to kind of get to experience some of their background and some of the things that they've gone through at various levels. So that's kind of what we'll kind of start off today with. Just talk baseball, guys. Nothing really heavy today. Just want to talk baseball. If you got questions for us, I know a lot of people have been texting questions to us, and that's good. As many questions as you can think of, send them. We'll take the time to answer them. That's what this podcast is for, answering those questions. So, Carl, you can hit it up.
I'm not going to tell these stories like what Michael Jordan told his rookie year when he walked into the room.
Yeah,
so I got some of those stories too. But,
right.
I guess I didn't mention my background. I also played a couple years in the big leagues, which is, I guess, part of the story. So it's actually a story about Eddie Murray.
Okay.
And so Eddie Murray and Nolan Ryan, and if you guys never saw him play, he has one of the quickest bats ever. And I remember when he told me once on the bus, I don't care how hard you're throwing, you're not going to throw a fastball by me. So you may get me with the other stuff, but you're not throwing a fastball by me.
Yeah.
All right. Now, mind you, with that, he swung a 36. 36 inches, 36 ounces, and never touched a weight.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And then sidebar to that, Eddie is the one of 11 kids, and I think 5 of his brothers played pro ball. Wow. And he would tell me all the time he wasn't even the best hitter in his family. So, but that was real quick.
Right.
But
wow.
So, yeah. So this story involves him in his rookie year, right? And he's playing with the Orioles. They're in Anaheim playing the Angels. And Nolan Ryan's pitching. So Nolan, for people that don't know, Nolan has it's not a reputation, it's a fact. Anytime he faced a rookie, he would knock him down. And I know this to be true because he did it to me.
All right.
But he did it to me in spring training, which kind of threw me for a loop, but I guess he didn't care where it was.
Right.
If you're a rookie, you're getting it. So anytime he faced a rookie, he'd knock him down. Now, the thing with Nolan, which is different from a lot of other pitchers, when he knocks you down, he's going to challenge you with the next pitch. Okay, so if you go back on YouTube and watch the start at the All-Star game in 1979 in Seattle Kingdom, he started the game, and I think he struck out the first 5 hitters or something, and he was throwing nothing but fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
Said, "Here it is, hit it. I dare you to hit it." So that was his mentality through his whole career. So anyway, he's facing Eddie, and Eddie's like a lot of superstars don't like being thrown at. And when you do that, you actually wake them up. That old saying, "Let sleeping dogs lie," and all that stuff. It's Eddie Murray, Frank Robinson, there's a whole bunch of guys were like that. And so Nolan knocks him down. Eddie gets up, dusts himself off. Never once looked out at the mound. Gets back in the box. Of course, Nolan's next pitch is going to challenge him. Throws a fastball. His 98, 100 miles an hour, whatever he threw. Mm-hmm. And Eddie hit a missile right between Nolan's leg for a base hit on the next pitch.
Wow.
So Nolan goes, turns around, gets the ball from the outfield. After he gets the ball, he turns to first base, walks towards first base, and tips his hat to Eddie, and then gets back on the mound and starts pitching.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that was Eddie's mentality, and that was Nolan's mentality.
Well, let's before you go, let's talk about the mentality for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Lead into that. Talk about those guys and that mentality that you may knock me down, right?
Right.
But you still got to come in. You still got to come in here.
Right.
You're challenging me. Now I'm about to challenge you. I don't have to tell you or physically make any motion that I'm fixing to challenge you back, but I'm about to challenge you. Let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, anybody that's a good hitter has that. Nolan grew up in Texas. He's a farm boy. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. 100 mile an hour, 105 mile an hour fastball. He obviously believed that nobody could hit his fastball when it was on.
Right.
So that's why he would challenge guys. Eddie grew up in South Central. One of 11 kids. And I'm the youngest of 10, so I know what it's like. Mm-hmm. When you got that many kids in your family, you got to fight for what you want. And in Eddie's case, like I said, he wasn't the best hitter in his family, so he's competing with his brothers, let alone other people, trying to show what he can do.
Right.
And he was just well, they both thought they were the best at what they did. And when you challenge guys like that, their game elevates. And like I said, so Nolan, he believes, even when you know it's coming, he believes he can throw you a fastball by you. And Eddie believes, no matter how hard you throw him, you can't throw a fastball by him. So you just had 2 gladiators going at it. And again, most great players have that type of mentality. At least from my experience.
Yeah.
Some guys, I've met some guys who actually can turn it on and turn it off when they want to. Yeah. But again, as a when you're playing against those guys, the unwritten rule is leave them alone, especially when they're not going good.
Yeah.
Don't get them riled up. Same thing with Sandy Koufax, Roger Clemens, whoever. They could be struggling, but the minute you start popping off or you start digging in or whatever, all of a sudden that breaking ball starts snapping off harder. That fastball's got a little more hair on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's stories about hitters yelling at his teammates, or who was it? Yeah, Nolan was the guy. If you steal a base against Nolan Ryan, he's going to drill somebody. And I don't remember who it was, but one of his teammates told dude, stop stealing bases because I got to hit. I got to hit after you.
Right.
So, but that's just part of a winner's mentality.
Yeah. Andrew, pick up the winner's mentality. Talk about it from what you've seen.
They're all different, man. They're those guys they're just different.
Yeah.
They work the hardest. I'm sure we all saw the Jordan Last Dance documentary, right?
Right.
Those guys are just different, man. They outwork you, like how Jordan was like, he's gonna outwork everybody.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the hardest worker. Those guys, it's true. The best guys is just not just the talent, because it's a lot of guys that are talented.
Yeah.
How many guys that you played with, Carl, that was talented enough to get to the big leagues?
Oh, I say it all the time. The best players, or the most talented players, are in cemetery or in prison.
Right.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. So I played a whole lot of guys that.
We played with a lot of guys that were just extremely talented that either didn't make it to the major leagues, they were in the minor leagues and didn't make it, or guys who we played with in high school who were like, this dude is the most athletic guy you ever seen in your life, and no one knows about him. You know what I'm saying? So, but what's different with the greats is their work ethic.
Right.
Look how Kobe, willed himself into being this, created this Mamba mentality where he was going to just outwork everybody,
Right.
The season over, he's still working,
Right.
He win a championship, he take a day off or so, and then he's back in the gym.
Right.
Getting ready for the next year. Or, the guys who, like I saw the story when they were talking about Jordan filming the Space Jam movie.
Mm-hmm.
And how they built a full court basketball facility for him to work out during the filming.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So those guys are different. They feel like they're gonna outwork. If they're not as good, that's and then just that mentality, you can decide to outwork your opponent.
Yeah.
Like what you've been born with, your talent-wise, some of that stuff just you've been born with it. Your size, just genetics, sometimes even, how fast you are. Some of that stuff is just kind of genetics,
Right.
But
Bo Jackson as an example of that.
Right, exactly. He's just born, like Carl said, he never saw him lift a weight or whatever.
Yeah.
He didn't have to,
Right.
But what you can change is how many shots you gonna put up per day, how many swings you gonna take a day, how many throws you gonna make a day, how much you gonna work on your ground balls. We always used to tell kids when we were at the academy, when they show up at 5 o'clock, we used to always mess with them and say, you guys just left your high school, or whatnot. It's some kid down in Dominican, your same age. He didn't already took 1,000 swings and took 1,000 ground balls already. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do to that? Yeah, you just getting here. What are you gonna do? I agree.
You're just showing up. How you gonna make up for what he's doing?
Right.
And that I think it was Coach Polk who talked about that. About when he goes down there, what he actually sees. Kids don't even have shoes to wear, but they're out there putting in the work.
Right.
Yeah, so
yeah.
What do you mean?
By any means. So one of the things, since we talked about the Last Dance with Mike, I remember the part where it's at the end of Mike's career, and they're playing. They were playing in Chicago, and he goes over to Kobe, smacks him on his butt, and basically says, "You'll never feel these shoes." Right? And then Kobe just shuts everybody out. He tunes everybody out, right? At practice for 2 weeks, he didn't talk to anybody. The players go to Phil Jackson. They say, "Hey, is Kobe mad at us?" Phil turns around and says, "Hey, no, he's not mad at you. He's focused." And then that next day or next week or whatever, they go to L.A. He puts up 48 in the first half.
Jordan was playing with Washington at the time.
That's right. No, That's right. Jordan was playing with Washington. That's when he returned. You're right. He was playing with Washington. Jordan, put up. Well, I think Jordan put up like 35, 40 or something that game. Right. And then when they return, they go to L.A. Kobe puts up 48 the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, you got. I mean, and then I always post a lot of things on social media, especially when people say crazy stuff. Right. We all, me and you, Carl, we really get at folk about some of the stuff they say. But there's that meme of Kobe, and I can't remember which player it was. And it's Chris somebody. I can't know. Anyway, he took the basketball and he did it like that in Kobe's face, and Kobe didn't even flinch.
Oh, that was Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes, that's who it was. Matt Barnes. So takes the basketball. I mean, literally does it in his face. Kobe didn't even flinch. He's still just staring at him like. I mean, I'm like, there are guys. Those guys are. I mean, they're truly different, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Some people say it's borderline. It's almost borderline insanity. Either you just this great at what you do, or if you go just a tad to the right, you could be a killer, man. I don't know. I mean, it's just those dudes are different. I mean, I'm not gonna say I had my ways of turning my stuff on and off, but there was no way I was like Kobe, man. If I was like Kobe, even in business, even in I see text coming in. Even in baseball, if I had that mindset where I could just tune everything out, focus on what I'm going to do, and just go get it, go do it, man.
And I think a lot of us, at least some of us have played professionally. we may get it for a week. But those guys seem to be able to do it long term.
Yeah. So would you say that's kind of the difference between being good and being great?
Yeah, but again, it goes back to what Drew said. The reason they were able to sustain that kind of feel for longer is because they work harder. It comes from work. It doesn't happen by magic. They got the right information, but again, guys that don't know the story about Jordan. He had a thing called the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. And
before their normal practice, he had a weight session at his house for all the players, and everybody was welcome to come. And they called it the Breakfast Club. I heard a story about Kobe, one of his trainers. I think he was on the Olympic team. He asked the trainer. He told the trainer he wanted to come in for some extra work before regular practice started, right? And so. Trainer said, "Okay, well, I'll be there. I'll be in the gym at 4:00." Trainer said when he got there, Kobe was already there in a full sweat.
Right.
Before the workout, he got a pre-workout before the pre-workout. So and those type of things, you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And Bryce Harper was that way. Mike Trout is that way. Barry Bonds is that way. Gary Sheffield is that way. All those guys, Gary Sheffield, Barry Bonds, Bryce Harper, they're making millions of dollars. They still get up at 5 o'clock in the off season to work.
Right. Well, here's this number. This is a 415 number. The text says, I see first rounders breaking down at 25, 29 years of age. Wrist, too much swing before maturity. Elbow, ditto. Elbow the same thing, and generally too many max reps? I guess the question, I guess they're asking, what are your thoughts on that? Is what I guess what they're asking here.
My thoughts on that is, like, when you talk about like a pitcher, right? The greatest pitchers, they didn't break down when they was 20 in their 20.
Mm-hmm.
If they had like elite mechanics, elite, physical ability, elite,
Right.
like all this stuff, like Pedro pitched forever, and he's a slider build kind of guy.
Yeah.
Now, and then you look at Nolan Ryan, who's way bigger than Pedro Martinez was, right?
Right.
And he pitched forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so what's the difference? The difference is the similarities are they both had elite mechanics.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That was very efficient, and they moved efficient. I guarantee they both worked hard.
Right.
To where their bodies, they didn't take time off like you hear some people, oh, my kid needs to take time off from doing it. Why?
Yeah.
Why if this is what you want to be great at, you don't take time off.
Right.
And I see it all the time as a scout. I'll show up in the spring and I can tell when a kid hasn't been like throwing. Somebody told him don't throw.
Don't throw. Yeah, I mean you can.
I can show up and say, oh, this kid hasn't been throwing.
Yeah, it's a difference between taking time off, right, and playing another sport. Okay. Even though this is something I talk about all the time, even though I was a 4-sport guy, we started out with football at the beginning of the school year. This is high school side of it, 1-sport college, but the high school side of it, you start out with football. You had basketball next, then you had baseball and track and field, and I had to do both, right? But there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't go throw a baseball or hit in the cages.
Right.
No, not a day.
Yeah. Now, the other side of that, too, is what a lot of these guys, the guy that asked the question, they're missing. Back in the day, well, first of all, social media is making everything bigger than it actually is.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
True.
Guys didn't just start getting hurt today. Guys have always have gotten hurt.
Right.
The difference is, back in the day when you got hurt, your career was over.
Right.
True. That's true.
Okay? And then, so nobody never heard of you again. I mean, I can't tell you how many guys I've met tell me how they blew out their knee or blew out their arm in high school or college or an A-ball or whatever, and they never played again.
Right.
Okay, so now guys are getting hurt, they're getting surgery, coming back, rehabbing, whatever. Okay, so guys have always gotten hurt. Just the technology that allows them to come back and to continue to play.
Great point.
Right.
Okay, so, but again, like Drew said, the guys who had good mechanics, and obviously you got to have some good DNA too to start with. Sure. The guys that had good mechanics, pitched a long time, never got hurt or didn't get hurt. And so it's so it's not a new phenomenon with guys getting hurt. It's always happened.
Yeah.
It's just with the combination of social media and technology, it makes it seem like it's an epidemic, which and some of the stuff is, but still, guys have always gotten hurt.
Right. Let me give the numbers again here. Here's the info window again, guys. 334-249-2290. You can send a text in. Eventually, we'll have a phone system set up, and you guys will be able to call in. That's what another part we've been working on. So you can also tweet us at WePlayBaseball. The number is 334-249-2290 to text a question in or tweet us at WePlayBaseball2. Again, the number is the tweet line is WePlayBaseball with the number 2. It says it on the other screen. I just noticed it does not say it there. But anyway, back to us. So, all right, since we've been talking about competitors, because that's kind of where we led this, I was reminded of there's a book that I normally that I've used and I tell other coaches about it. It's called Compete: Traits of an Elite Competitor. It's by Bruce E. Brown. One of the things he says, a competitor, he gives a kind of bullet points several things that a competitor is. All right, is passionate, has a strong will, lives and loves. I think we got a tweet. Yeah, lives and loves the moment. Lives and loves in the moment, right? Lives in and loves the moment. Is mentally tough. Controls the controllables. is disciplined, self-controlled, and poised. Has courage, is is fearless, has confidence based on preparation. I think that's a very key point there. That's really what you guys just were talking about. The amount of preparation that players would put into it. Kobe taking 300 shots before everybody gets there. Stuff like that. It's unselfish. We can.
That's debatable in some cases.
That's debatable, right? That's debatable. Competes ethically. That's debatable. with some. Is committed, never gives up. They are relentless. Now that is true. So when I saw Kobe, and the look that he had on his face, it was like you don't know who you're talking to. I'm Kobe Bryant. I am. You don't understand how much of a focused individual I am. And honestly, they showed this at the end, kind of end of the clip. But when Jordan was sitting on the bench, it was how he looked. He was like, "Whoa, I think I pissed that dude off. I turned this dude into a whole new person by what I said." That kind of activated Kobe. It was like from then on out, everybody knows I'm Kobe Bryant. So,
yeah, and for the parents and coaches out there, you can train your kid to be like that.
Yes.
If you know the story of Tiger Woods, that's basically what his dad did for him. He would have him practice his swing and his putts, making all this noise around him, and just teaching him to stay focused on what he was doing, regardless of what was going on around him.
Right.
So there's ways you can instill that into your athlete. Obviously coddling is not going to help them when you do that. But teaching them work ethic. The biggest thing for me, coaching kids, is at the younger ages. If they can do it, kids need to play up occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they need to know they're not the best player on the field all the time. So when they know they're not the best player on the field, it gives them the reason to keep working.
Right.
Because if you're the best player on the field, there's no reason for you to practice or do anything. Well, I need to practice, so I'm already the best.
I had in saying that, on one of the teams I had, we all played up. It was a 10U team, and we played at 11U, 12U tournaments.
Right.
And the parents were upset, like, okay, why? We're losing. I said, okay, wait a minute. Right. Here we are. All right. Every day we go out and develop. We work on development every single day because we have practices pretty much every day. We work on the development every day. And I told you from the beginning of this, we're playing the games to see how well we're developing. Okay.
Right.
Now we're 10 and 11 years old. We're playing 12-year-olds, right? They're supposed to be this. They're supposed to win.
Right.
Let's be fact. We're losing games 3-2.
Right.
2-1. It's not like we're getting blowed out. But they were upset. Well, we're not winning. Wait a minute. We take this same 11, 12-year team and go compete on a 10 or 11U level with everybody else. We dominate. And you don't understand that you're not getting the difference. You're not understanding what we're doing. We're playing up because we want to play against the best competition. Competition breeds competition, which breeds better play. It brings the competitiveness out of you, make you a better ball player, to make you say, okay, I need to go back because I see that there are guys out here better than me. If I'm the best player on the team, if I'm the best player in the league, I'm looking for a new league.
Right.
Unless I'm at Major League Baseball level. That's something different now. You're the best. That's where the best play. But we're talking about 10U, 12U baseball, baby. Let's put this thing into perspective. You need to be playing up. Now, we're telling you. I'm not saying you got to play up every single tournament. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to play up on a bigger team every weekend. That's not what we're saying. What we are saying is play up just to see where you stack up. where you stay.
Challenge for kids.
Yeah. So it's a challenge.
Learn the work ethic.
Listen,
when you're taking your batting practice, practice hitting with winning run a second and third. Practice moving guys over. Practice hitting with 2 strikes.
Exactly.
Practice facing a guy throwing 100 miles an hour.
I thought that was our new offense line.
I know one thing that I saw from a quote from Jordan, and then you hear from a lot of other people that are really highly successful in sports and stuff, and they talk about the practice, how, and you're starting to see it like from these really smart new age baseball coaches is starting to come out with stuff like this, how practice harder. Where Jordan was talking about, he practiced harder than he, pushed himself to the limit, made everything difficult for him in practice, to where he got in the game, he could be on cruise control.
Exactly, that is true.
And you're starting to see that. How I started thinking about this. I started seeing people talk about it in baseball. How we've always made practice so much easy. Like the BP was just toss it in there and make it easy BP. It was the ground balls are easy. Everything is really easy. And then when they get in the game, the volume get turned up.
Right.
Where does the kid go from there? He's never. So it's almost make your practices harder, so that when he gets in the game, he's already seen this.
Right. Exactly.
Or it's easier than his practices.
Right.
Allow your kids to fail.
Right.
You almost want them to fail.
No, it's necessary.
It's necessary. I agree.
Otherwise, you're doing them a disservice.
Right.
If your kid is always the best player on the team, or in the league, or in the tournament, there's a problem.
I read a tweet. I think it was earlier today. I read a tweet that somebody sent out, and it basically said, "What if when Michael Jordan went to his mom and said, 'Hey, you saw that tweet, right? Hey, I got cut.' And if mom would have reacted differently,
right,
and would have jumped on the coach's neck, down his throat, would have said whatever she wanted to say, right?
Yep.
What kind of kid, or what would we get if Michael Jordan was ever, when his mom ever did that? Would we ever see a Michael Jordan?
Probably never would have heard of him.
If she coddled him, or if Dad coddled him, and instead of telling him, which is what she told him, hey, over the summer you better get better if you want to play.
Right.
Right.
That's another thing from this documentary that you're getting is we're so used to seeing these kids now, like we're on Twitter and you see the freshman or the 8th grader is getting these scholarship offers, and he's like the next best thing.
Right.
The 10th grade, the 9th and 10th grader.
I saw an 8th grader. I had an 8th grader just the other day.
Right, and so, but what we're getting a real lesson here is like, 10th grade, he was cut from his team. He had to go back and put in the work. Everybody think like, man, I gotta be the guy in 9th grade. I gotta be the guy in 10th grade, or even I gotta be the guy in 11th grade. Look at Scottie Pippen. He was a nobody. He was the equipment manager for his NAIA college basketball team.
Right.
Now, obviously, he grew 6 inches, but he still had to work to get his way on the team.
It just wouldn't give it to him because he grew 6 inches.
Right. But the thing about it though, I always tell my son, what are you going to do in the meantime before you grow?
Yeah.
Right.
What are you going to do? You sitting there just waiting for this to happen for you? You're like, oh, okay,
right.
I'm big now. Let's see. I go play now. Like, why not work on your skills, work on your work ethic, your attitude, your game? So if they scared of you, if you killing them while you 5'9", 6, 5'10", imagine how you gonna kill them when you get taller and bigger and stronger.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen so fast for you if you already skilled, You know, that's just like baseball too. You might not be strong or have that strength, have the bat speed and all that.
Right.
But if you have a good bat path, you always make good make good flush, solid contact. Your glove is really good. You got a dependable glove. Every time the ball's hit to you, you make all the plays.
Right.
Now, when you get bigger and stronger, sky's gonna be the limit for you.
Right. I'll say this. As a matter of fact, I'm just giving the number again. To get your questions in, again, that number is 334-249-2290, or you can tweet us at WePlayBaseball2. Again, 334-249-2290, or tweet us at WePlayBaseball2. This is what I was going to say, just to piggyback off of, exactly what you were just saying. The best kid at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, even 15 years old don't always end up being the best players at 18, 19, 20, or 21.
Me and Carl Sino, we got a list of one, Carl.
Rarely happens.
It rarely happens, and that's why I keep trying to. We spend so much time focusing on my son is this, my son is that. Hey,
well, I was gonna say it's the best player that they say who's the best player.
Right.
Rarely happen.
Right.
Because
from a scouting standpoint, you may say he's the best player. I may see something totally different, or another kid that's out there that I think is the best player, and that's the kid that we go after.
At the academy, we usually pick out the kid who's not getting all the attention. That kid's going to be good. That kid's going to be good. I'll give you a perfect example. There's a kid named Tyler Mark who did nothing during his high school, his amateur career.
Right.
He didn't go to Tournament Stars. He didn't do area codes. He didn't do. He was nothing.
Right.
And I kept saying that kid's going to watch out. And in fact, I even told him because his mother's from Panama, and I even told him you need to learn Spanish because you're going to need it. When he was, I think, 12. And sure enough, by the time he got through college, he gets drafted by the Diamondbacks. He's still playing pro ball right now.
Exactly.
And all these guys that were ahead of him, going to Tournament Stars, playing on Team USA, they're all out of baseball right now.
Right. And what do you?
A lot of times, one thing to add to that, a lot of times, what parents and some other coaches tie to the kid being good at 13, 14, the kid is already bigger than all the other kids.
Right.
So he has strength already. You know what I'm saying? So that's easy to pick. Say, oh, okay, he's the best player. Well, he's the biggest player.
Right.
Right.
So then when all the other kids catch up to him, then what?
Right.
So a lot of times that's what happens with these kids that are your Team USA kids and some of your, the Tournament Stars, whatever, the big kids that go around the country and perform. Usually they're bigger than all the other kids at the same age. So you have the big kid that's 12 years old, he's already 6 foot.
Right.
Everybody going to want him.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I was at the Tournament Stars the year that they cut Mike Trout. He got cut.
Right.
And 2 years later, he's the best player in the big leagues.
So
there you go.
There you go. Just go to show you. I'm gonna go back to this book real quick. It says one of the points I was gonna make on one of the bullet points that they made were competitors control the controllables, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to point this out just for a minute for parents and players alike. Things that you do not control. Your opponent's preparation. Your opponent's behavior. Referee calls. I've seen some jacked up calls, but I got no control over. I can voice my opinion as a coach, not as the player. As a coach, I can voice my opinion, but at the end of the day, I still have no control over whether he changes or he doesn't. I can plead my case. There's a difference. All right? As a coach, I can do that. Winning or losing, I have no control over it. At the end of the day, baseball there are 9 people on the field. I can't control what everybody else does. I can only control me. And if we get a lot more people worrying about controlling me, themselves, oh, how much greater of a game it would be. And the last thing you can't control, it's two more things. I'm going to add a bullet. Next thing you can't control is weather. Ain't nothing I can do about the weather. That's God.
Unless you play in the dome.
Unless you play it in the dome. Now, if it's raining there, I'm getting on somebody's butt because we should have a dome leaking. But anyway, and the last thing is pandemics. We can't control this pandemic, okay? There's nothing we can do about it. But what you can do, get in your backyard and do some work.
Yep.
When we do start playing, we're going to find out who's been working.
We're going to find out who's been working. We're going to find out.
You'll see a lot of pulled hamstrings, arms blowing out.
Wow.
A lot of broken bats.
A lot of broken bats. When we go to these wood bat tournaments, a lot of broken bats, man. Yeah. We're gonna find out. So I just wanted to point those things out. Again, this book, if you want this book, and I normally don't do this, but Compete is a book that I think a lot of kids and parents need to have. It's by Bruce E. Brown. You can actually look it up, and there's a lot of these books. If you one of these days, I'm gonna turn the computer around and just show you this room. Okay, there's books everywhere in here. All right, so I do a lot of reading, a lot of studying, and I do a lot of Googling to decipher information, especially when it comes down. I do a lot of reading on managing people, right, and how to manage people, how to motivate people to do the desired so we can get the desired outcome. Winning ball games, completing your classwork, completing your class assignments, getting good grades. So I do a lot of studying and reading on how to make that happen. And so that's why you'll see 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You'll see The Art of War. You'll see that. That's all up here. You'll see, the baseball playbook. We talked about those things. You'll see the Jager Sports Throwing Program. You see all this stuff up here. Strength Finders. I think that's a great book. Matter of fact, I hope this don't knock everything down, but yeah, here you go. Strength Finders. That's a book that I read. How to find the strengths of people. How to put those people into place in order to get the strategic outcome accomplished. There are things that you can do, guys. I just did. I told you I was going to knock this stuff over. Anyway, I saved it, though. But, guys, reading is fundamental. That's from, that Kid and Play movie. So, anyway, all right, guys. I know we covered a lot. We got about 15 minutes left. We're going to have a short show. We're not going to do this on a long, drawn-out deal. Again, if you do have questions, because I'm about to go over the National Scouting Bureau's benefits package. That way everybody will be able to see it again. So to get your questions in, text 334-249-2290 or tweet us at WePlayBaseball2, the number 2.
I got a question for Carl.
Go ahead. While I get set up, you go ahead.
I was thinking about this the other day. So during the Jackie Robinson thing, I wanted to ask him, but we started getting on some other. And I started seeing people tweeting out about the black catchers, right?
Yeah.
And it was I never thought about it. I was like, man, I've been knowing Carl for a long time now, and I was like, he's a real like a legend to be like a black catcher that played in the major leagues.
Correct.
Like it's so few of them.
Right.
I want to know like your thoughts on that, Carl. Like how does that how you feel about that, and then what's the reason you think that there's no more black catchers, and it's just kind of like a loss? It's kind of a phenomenon in Major League Baseball.
I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons. Some of them are controversial.
Right.
So back in the 50s and 60s, there were more.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, baseball was America's sport, including in the black community. So
right, it's a huge sport for the black community.
Yeah, so everybody played baseball, all the top athletes.
Right.
And so, back it up. Basically, what you're seeing is the guys who back then would have been catchers, they're now NFL quarterbacks. So that's one reason.
Yeah.
Another reason is, well, I won't go that route. But another reason, a lot of times, when black catchers come in and get into the game, at whatever level, 9 times out of 10 are pretty athletic. And especially if they can swing the bat, you go into the outfield.
Right.
And then on top of that, catching is just not encouraged in I guess in the black community. I became a catcher because two of my brothers were catchers, and then eventually I figured out it was my best position. So I couldn't run. I wasn't that fast because if I could run, I probably would have been an outfielder or a shortstop or something. But I had an arm, and I had quick feet and all that stuff. So I was basically built to be a catcher.
Right.
But it's just not a glamorous position. And again, there's a whole bunch of other factors, but the biggest part is I think one, you don't have a pool to draw from.
Right.
And again, when you do get a kid who could probably be a good decent catcher, they end up moving him to a different position.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my story. I don't know if you know that. I was drafted out of high school as a catcher.
Yeah, Eddie Murray was a catcher.
I played my whole high school career as a catcher, which is it's so far gone. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, all those years I played catcher, and then when I was drafted, I think the Dodgers were already saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put you in left field or something, or we're gonna put you in outfield, or whatever."
Yeah, because your bat was so far ahead of everything else. Of course they could.
Right. And then when I went to college, they didn't even think about me as a catcher.
Right.
I went straight to left field.
Right. I mean, and when I was playing, you had that stigma that we can't call a game, we can't lead a team, and all that stuff. Even though every team I played on, the team ERA was always at least a point lower for me than it was my white counterparts. And I remember one year specifically, the manager, John Hart. No, it wasn't John Hart. It was Greg Biagini. It was two of us on the team, and he called us both in for a meeting, right? Me and the other white catcher that was on my team, and he started talking about the team ERA, and I'm thinking, there to get scolded, but basically he was scolding the other guy because the team ERA was a whole point higher when he started the games.
Right.
And so he was basically telling him he needed to do a better job of calling the game. But we always get that stigma, though.
The texter just stated, Coach won't put fastest, most athletic players behind the dish.
Right, and that's true for any race, but especially for us, because again, I can go a whole different way with that, but.
He says my son plays catch. Oh crap! Hold on. He said my son plays catcher, so he can get a spot.
Right, but again, if he shows any kind of athleticism, especially with that bat, he's going to get moved to another position, probably the outfield.
Right.
That's just the way it is. But unless that person insists on being a catcher.
Right.
But for me, catching was my best position. It was almost you couldn't. There was nowhere else. Even though I could play other positions, I was head and shoulders a better catcher than I was anything else.
Right.
I think, and then for my point of view, I would say like I didn't have the coaching.
Right.
To be a good catcher, I was just athletic, and I could throw, and I can move around a little bit. So, and I was the only person on the high school team because when I first got to high school, I didn't catch,
right.
And it was like just something that just happened. I think I probably caught one game because the guy who was the catcher, he probably pitched or something. So they were like, "Oh, okay, we need another catcher."
Mm-hmm.
And then so I evolved into the catcher for 3 years, but I never got that good coaching,
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and that's how most of us from our background got into catching. I started because nobody else on our team could catch in 1 year in Little League.
Right.
And the coach said we need a catcher. I volunteered. I'll catch, and I started catching, and I was good at it. Now for me, all the catching stuff came pretty easy for me, pretty natural. I didn't have any coaching either.
Right.
But I read Johnny Bench had a book. I read his book, so I basically made myself into a decent catcher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any coaching either. So, and that's another issue too. Is a lot of our kids don't get the coaching. Now, Charles Johnson, his dad was a catcher in college, so he basically groomed him since he started playing baseball. Him and Terry McGriff, because they're cousins.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically groomed them to be catchers.
Gotcha.
You know, but me, I didn't have it. You know, there was no grooming, and you know, I just basically just made it work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to transition here just for a minute, guys, and go ahead and pull this slide up so we can help. Well, here we go. He said, do you think a player like A.J. Lewis will be able to remain a catcher?
Is that from Andreas?
I believe so.
Yeah, I had that discussion with him last Saturday. He can remain a catcher, but it's going to require work.
Right.
You know, we and I discussed that with him about what's required of him.
Yeah,
I told him he has the tools to do it.
Right.
It's just a matter of does he want to do it.
Right. Cool.
And then catching is literally the easiest way to give yourself a chance to play professional baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one position every team needs catchers. It's a ton of pitchers. You need guys to catch them. Every team has at least two, plus, you know, a ton of other guys that need to be at the complex to catch bullpens and stuff. And then you're gonna play in games, and you're gonna give yourself a chance to be noticed, and you know. And then nowadays, they make catching even easier. I mean, you don't even have to throw.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I told him that too. Now, they used to tell me, if you can catch and throw, that's the fastest way to the big leagues. You don't have to hit. Don't believe that. That's a lie.
Right.
Because I didn't start moving until I started hitting.
Right.
And my catching was the same throughout. So you still got to hit.
You
got to hit your way to the big leagues. You don't have to hit once you're there for 3 years, but
yeah, especially if you look like me, you got to hit.
I mean, yeah, that's the misconception of all, like, any plus defender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be a plus defender in the big leagues.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to get to the big leagues.
Get to the big leagues, right. Well, I transition real quick. I put this up here. Going to go to this slide here. Let me put the background up. They won't see everything that we're doing behind the scenes here. But I do need to get rid of that real quick. So I'm going to hit share my screen here, guys. So you guys should be able to see this in just a minute.
Good shots.
Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, so that means this one should be showing on Facebook. I give it just a second because I want to make sure it's showing correctly on my end. All my apps just shut down. OBS. All right, now everybody should be able to see this. Okay, yep. All right. Cancel. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that. So anyway, now that this actually pulled up, everybody should be able to see it. So we're going to just go over the 2020, the National Scouting Bureau's 2020 annual member benefits package here. So first thing you'll notice is, how did I do that? Oh. Okay, so I won't be able to see it. You guys can see it, okay. So, first thing first here, just want to cover kind of the basics here. There are several levels or compartments that we put together to make this work for players and to make sure that we're able to give players a 360-degree support system that we put around them. So first off, I'm a big proponent of academics. I believe I want to give kids as many opportunities, even through the game of baseball or whatever it may be, to go to college. So we put in this package a guaranteed $4,000 college scholarship annually for each member. and it's over 400 participating private colleges and universities that are in there. So what are we doing? So basically, it's like you treat it like frequent flyer miles. We give 4,000 points, which basically equals out to $4,000, or the school system or the college itself will not give you less than dollar for dollar match. You may get a better match, but they will not give you less than a dollar for dollar match on that 4,000 points. Okay. So that can be used at over 400 plus participating colleges and universities, and that also will be within the page, your profile page, where you can actually go in and see all the benefits. Right. You have year-round homework assistance. We make sure that was a part of it, so that we can make sure ensure that our players will be able to perform academically. You see the 24/7, 365 tutoring. That says tutoring, by the way, but tutoring is what was supposed to be. ACT prep tools are also a part of it. We also have a discounted ACT prep class that we've actually included in there that players get access to, and that's one-on-one actual a tutor, trainer right there with you one-on-one, basically done through the virtual platform. Player development is the second area. So we have several areas that we're going to go through: player development, exposure, speed, agility, strength, and conditioning. So I'll just cover that real quick when I go through this. So we have our regional prospect ID combines with our baseball ACT competency test, and our 3x5 scout evaluation. You have a 2-day regional player development camps where after we do the original combine, we come back and we do these regional player development camps, which basically help players focus on where those weaknesses that we saw during our evaluation period. So throughout the week, the kids get daily live trainings and lessons that we do, and drills that they get to do at home. They have 2 video analysis per month. They send them in on the 1st and the 15th. We send you the angles and everything that you need to take, of the pictures the videos that need to be taken. We give you kind of a format on how to do that. You send that in, we analyze it, we critique it, and we send it back to you. And you also have discounted private virtual training lessons, and another component that we're working on is for our players on a local level. We're working on a player development training course or a coach's course to ensure that the things that we're teaching and you're learning through our virtual development, that's being taught on the local level, and it's not counterintuitive or going against each other. We want everything the same way, so we're working on that back office system for that as well. Exposure, just a player profile page and lockers that we build out. You have that weekly NSB Scout Wire report that we send out, goes to colleges and coaches and pro scouts, college coaches and pro scouts around the country. They'll be getting that NSB showcases that we do, and that you're invited to attend when we have deemed you're ready to showcase, because we don't want you putting out or being viewed or I guess first, like I said this way, first impression is everything in the scouting and coaching business. I don't want you to get written off by not being prepared. So that's what all these other player development side is for, is to make sure that you are prepared when you go to these showcases, right? NSB high school and youth tournaments, because we're going to do our youth level guys and make sure they're accustomed to what we're doing at the high school level when they get to the high school level. The events are streamed to college coaches and pro scouts around the country. The WePlayBaseball Podcast, which is obviously what we're doing now. We promote our players. We'll go through that, and we'll talk more about how that format is going to roll out here as we get going running those camps and events. The opportunity to make the NSB regional or national USA Team Pride Scout Team, that's also available in there. The recruiting side of this, people are trying to figure out how the recruiting process. We've got it nailed down to a T. So you have an advisor, assistant guided step-by-step process that's built in with our system, along with an advisor, myself, and other guys that we have to help assist in that area. College research and fit match finder within the system, so you can actually go in based on what it is that you are planning to your major, whatever you're planning as your major. We can help you assist in finding those schools that you meet, plus several other things that we're doing to go along with that. So there's a whole lot that's behind that. We can go into that in more detail later. Access head coach and staff information. your ability to label, identify and label your top schools, track and manage your communications with all the schools, ACT and SAT GPA scores. All that stuff is actually retrieved automatically for college coaches to be able to see, so you don't have to go through all the rigmarole that goes around with trying to get college transcripts in. That's already pulled into the system for the coaches. So speed, agility, strength and conditioning. All this is built into the platform. We have an app. After you go through the app, we go through it. We build the plan out for you. So it's get bigger, get faster, get stronger, get powerful, get explosive. All of our members receive the daily workouts from NSCA certified speed, agility, strength, and conditioning coaches. So all that's built into it. The sports nutrition side of it, members receive dietary assessments and personalized diet recommendations. That's built through there. Members receive plans to help implement a disciplined approach to hydration, diet, sleep, and supplementation. So we've worked on this a lot, guys. So the final piece is for members is the financial literacy courses. That's really what we built in there. We want to make sure that you understand credit, risk management and insurance, credit, debt, and loans, income, carriers, business, entrepreneurship, things we can talk about, accounts, savings accounts and investments, budgets, financial psychology. All this stuff is going to be built into the platform. So that's I wanted to lay that out again. I know I went through it pretty fast, pretty quickly. Again, we are getting ready to roll this out. It rolls out actually May 1st is what we're pushing for, where you will be able to log into the system and begin the enrollment process. So cost, it's $150 annual registration fee, $49.95 monthly introductory price, and that goes through August the 30th, guys. So just giving you a heads up, we'll be talking more about this. I'm gonna do an additional podcast one day this week. I'll let everybody know, maybe Friday evening, where I'll just go through and take time, and we can just answer questions directly towards this. So that's kind of it on that end up, guys. Any questions, any thoughts on that? I know we talk about it all the time, but any thoughts from you guys on that?
Sounds like an awesome deal. I don't know how anybody can turn that stuff down. I mean, if I'd had something like that come through, ain't no telling where I could have gone.
Yeah.
Or would have done, so yeah, it's a good deal.
So that's what we're pushing. That's what we're trying to get out there. Again, the objective was to build a 360-degree support system around the players, cover all aspects from player development to the academic side of things, making sure kids are getting that extra tutoring, that extra support they need, that ACT prep, because a lot of people don't understand how important that really is. I think we need to do one person that we need to bring on is we're not going to say a financial aid officer, but more so of we need to do that too, and so people can learn how to do their FAFSA, that information for that. But also we need to bring somebody, I guess a college recruiter, I guess it would be, from the academic side, to kind of come in and talk about that as well. Why academics matter, especially for baseball players. Being with that 11.7 scholarships, only having that 11.7 scholarships at the Division I level, even less at the other various levels. So I think that we'll work on bringing those two, someone financial aid person to come in and talk about the FAFSA and kind of help people walk through that and what it looks like, and then also bring somebody in to also talk about the collegiate recruiting side of things on the academic side of things, and just kind of let people understand from the academic side what things really look like and what you need to be prepared for. So, but yeah, that's the entire platform. I don't know what else to say. It's if you got questions, again, you can continue to text those questions to 334-249-2290. Or you can tweet us at WePlayBaseball 2. So, again, it was a good show. I think we covered a lot. I'm going to talk about this book next. So, it's called Confidence. Well, you can't see it, it's backwards. But playing with confidence. That'll be the next subject. Also, we're supposed to have on tomorrow, and I got to make sure I send an email to him. Jalen Leach, who is the special assignment scout for the Marlins. He'll be coming on, as well as Coach Cooper, working on Coach Cooper coming on Thursday or either Friday. He's trying to work in his schedule. Coach Cooper is the head coach at Grambling State. So we talked with Coach about coming on, and Jalen Leach on tomorrow. So we're good. Any closeout, guys? Any final words from them?
Good show.
Another good show, man.
Yeah,
keep the train going.
Keep the train going. A lot of good information we're giving these guys. So again, tomorrow, guys, we'll cover this. Jalen Leach will be a part of the show. We'll talk about playing with confidence, kind of to start out with, and bring him on and go from there. So again, we appreciate all of you viewers out here, from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube, wherever you're watching us on. Continue to watch us. Let everybody know about what we're doing. Pat Sims will be coming on as our new producer. I think I mentioned this last week. And we're working on some stuff behind the details to make the show even better, where we can do a lot more videos and things of that nature, and we can talk and critique videos of players and talk about what we're talking about. Talk about what we're talking about. Talk about the things that we're discussing when we're doing the video analysis work. And we're critiquing ball players and what we're looking at, whether that's hitting, fielding, things of that nature. He'll be behind the scenes to flash those things up, and I can concentrate on talking and not running the whole show, which it requires a lot from behind the scenes. So, again, we're not complaining. We're trying to make it better for you guys. Make sure we're giving you quality information. So, from the We Play Baseball podcast staff and panel, we'll see you tomorrow. We Play Baseball. Y'all have a great evening.